Hello, my name is Lynn and welcome to my channel. Today I have an unboxing of the most recent Tonic Studios craft kit, and I am so behind on crafting with my Tonic craft kits, but I could not skip this one because I think it was, I want to say a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago now, they released a kit that was a mini album or memory book. And I missed it. And they had it in the vault sale that came out. It was like the first vault sale after that had been released. So it was first time in the vault. And I ordered it, but it was actually technically out of stock. So I didn't get it, and I wasn't gonna let that happen again. I had not yet been a subscriber of the Tonic craft kits, but I've quickly rectified that, and I am now a kit subscriber. And so I on the 20th of the month, you always get to see what the upcoming kit is, and you can decide whether you want to skip or not. And when I saw this was a memory book, I didn't even need to look at any unboxing videos. I knew I was going to keep it. So this is box number 60, and it's called Time Spent with Friends. So it helps you create this lovely, lovely memory book. I really like that. There's some decorative sort of edge to this. So it's not just a series of sort of straight cuts that you could, for sure make on your own. But there's a reason to use a die, and that's to give you that lovely curved decorative border. So we get a lot of papers, and that's because Tonic knows what they're doing, and they recognize the fact that memory books, they take up a lot of paper, and so they've given us quite a bit so that you can straight away you can make a memory book, and you'll have everything that you need for pretty decent sized memory book right in the kit. So we have classic card in ivory white, and there's four sheets of that. So this is their classic card, which has bit of that sort of a linen texture on one side, and it's going to be smooth on the other. Then we have smooth card, super smooth on both sides. This feels thicker, and there's 2 sheets of this. So why have they done this? If I had to guess how I would use it anyways, and I bet they probably say this in their unboxing, but like I said, I didn't even need to see any unboxings. I knew I would keep this. This being thicker, I'm guessing is meant to be the cover of your album, because if I had to guess, this is probably maybe a 100 to 120 pound cover weight. Their classic card, I would gauge this at maybe like an 80 to 90 pound cover weight. So great for your page bases, especially if it depends on the style of album you're making, but some albums you have a page base and then you actually glue a second page base to this, either in full or in part, to have a pocket. So each actual page flip is going to be 2 sheets of this, and so you can go a little bit lighter on your page bases. For your covers, you may want something just a little bit sturdier, a little bit thicker. And so a heavier weight cardstock like this one, that once you've added all of your mats and layers to it, it's going to feel very sturdy, very substantial. So if I had to guess, that would be my guess as to why we're also getting 2 sheets of smooth card in ivory, so that everything coordinates well. Then I have not seen this before from Tonic, and or really anywhere, to be honest. So this is Vellum, and it's a pearl gold, so you can kind of see It's translucent. It's very nice. It's got that gorgeous shimmer to it. I don't believe there's a quote front or a back. They pretty much look the same on both sides. So that's just very, very lovely. And with the holidays around the corner, I'm tempted to save this for some card making, to be honest. So there's that. Really, really lovely. Then we have Pearlescent card in Cosmic Copper, and there's actually 2 sheets of this too. So really, really fantastic. The specialty card is nice and thick always, and it's double-sided and really, really great for mats and layers. But to be honest, if you wanted, it's thick. You could maybe use these as your covers too. Just depends on how large of a memory book or mini album you're creating. But definitely really great for mats and layers. And that's sort of why we have 2, I'm guessing, is because if you want an album that's maybe 4 or 5 pages, you're gonna, and you want them to have consistent look to them, you're gonna maybe want the exact same color. Looking at this, I don't know off the top of my head if it's the exact same color, but it is a little bit reminiscent of the kit just previous to this one. That was, I think it was Clocks and Cogs, and it was the one with the clocks and the gears and stuff. And I think the colorway for that box was copper and teal. So this might be, I don't know if it's the exact same, but it, I'd be curious to kind of pull from that kit as well. Maybe combine it with some of these supplies too. Then we have heavyweight construction acetate, and this is really thick stuff. This is fantastic. When they say heavyweight, this really is heavyweight. And so you have a full sheet of that. There is it's probably on both sides. I can even see it already sort of peeling away at the corner here. There's a protective liner, and that's to keep your acetate from getting scuffed up in transit. So leave that on there until you're ready to use it, but don't forget to peel that off. And I think it's probably going to be on both sides to keep both sides nice and pristine until you're ready to use it. Construction acetate, something like this is going to be really, really fantastic for when you still need the stability of whatever you're using this for, but maybe you actually want to cut out an aperture, for example. And let's say you could create an entire like a page base out of acetate. Maybe cut an aperture out of it and put something behind it, or have that be a little pocket for a photo, and this would hold up as a page, because it's not going to like I can hold it like this, and it's not just going to flop like completely over. I can actually hold it out, and I can kind of keep that strength. So it's really fantastic. Also great if you like to make gift boxes, because these would be really great as sort of the box top as well, where let's say you want to cut out something in the center, and but you still want your box to be nice and strong. You could put heavyweight acetate behind that aperture that's in your box top, and they'll keep kind of the structural integrity of the box top, but still give you that clear opening. So their acetate is really fantastic. Love that. I might be kind of hoarding and saving that. Then we also have some pattern paper, and again, more pattern paper than we would normally receive. So we actually have 4 sheets in total. There's 2 different double-sided designs. So these 2 are identical, and they are double-sided. So what you're looking at, these 4 are the 4 unique designs, but you always have the option, if you prefer one over the other, then you can certainly use the same side on both of them. So that way, if you're making an album with 4 pages, and we'll compare the dies to these papers to see how many pages you can get out of each. But if you want your pages to kind of look consistent, maybe you do want to cut all of them from the same side, versus if you want some variety, then maybe you want to use both. It's really lovely that they've given us a lot to work with, and as well that they've given us a lot of different patterns, but they're all in the same sort of colorway, so they're all gonna work really nicely with each other. So then let me pull out the Nuvo products. We've got a aqua shimmer pen in Sunlit Sienna, and so this looks like a little bit of a copper, sort of similar to this. And then we have, ooh, cool, a Dream Drop. Is this a new color? So this is Moroccan Flame. I'm not super up to date on all the new color. Is this part of the new color trend, from the most recent color trend? I'll have to look it up. I don't know if it's exclusive to the box, but this is lovely. I didn't realize there were Dream Drops in sort of metallic colors. So you can see a lot of copper here. Then I have as well a spool of ribbon. I got amber yellow. This is satin. Oh, that's gorgeous. This is satin, 5mm, and it looks like from the content list that some people might have gotten Windsor check. Because you could have gotten either that or this. I'm really glad I got the solid, because I feel like that's going to be easier to use. Then, okay, so now we have this is a lot of stuff here. So we've got a lot of different adhesives. Tonic has really set us up well with adhesive choices. So check out all of this. We have a, and I don't even know if we were supposed to get all of this, because it doesn't look like all of it's listed. So, oh yes, it is. Okay. So we have some dimensional foam for when you want to give some things maybe a little bit more lift and have them stand up off of the page a little bit more. We've got a tape runner. This is the larger size, so it's 8mm wide, the strip of tape that comes off of this, and it's 8 meters long, so that's the length of adhesive that you get. And I have never seen this before. This is a glue pen, large flat tip is what it says, and it makes sense to include this, especially since if you're doing lots of mats and layers, it might be quicker to cover your mats and layers with something like this. And that's in particular for mini albums, because whenever I make a mini album, I am expecting or hoping, wanting it to last. And sometimes a dry adhesive runner can, just depending on the climate that you live in and how long you're expecting it to hold up, this can dry out from exposure to air. And there's always, the potential. It could be higher and lower, just depending on the region that you live in and the climate in your area. But there is some potential for this to dry out and then lose its stickiness and then kind of fall apart. With adhesives like a really high quality PVA glue, craft glue, the difference between, a dry tape like this and a PVA glue is that the PVA glue is water-based and will actually soak into the paper fibers to create a stronger, more permanent bond. So this glue, let's see if we can determine, but the key is to use this on a mini album. I would want to be assured that it is archival, safe, and acid free. And if it does not explicitly say that, I'll be honest, I'm not going to just assume that is the case. And I don't actually see it on here. So I may write in and ask, but this is a water-based glue. You can see it in the ingredients here. It says acrylic, emulsion, and water. So, yeah, I would be cautious to use this on anything that you might place that might make contact with a photograph, because the acids in things like adhesives, some papers and stuff like that even, the acids can actually yellow your photo over time. And, that's what sort of gives it that aged look, which is not bad. Actually, it's kind of a really nice vintage look. But if you don't want that to happen to your photos, because you can't really control what's going to happen and how it's going to look, what effect any particular acids might have on it. But that's why you want to work with papers that are acid and lignin free and archival safe, and that goes for your adhesives as well. So I'm gonna just double check with customer support, Tonic's customer support, just to see. I honestly can't imagine why they would include it in a memory book kit if it wasn't acid free. But then, having said that, that's a pretty major kind of selling point of any adhesive. So I also can't imagine them leaving that fact off, if that is indeed the case, that it is acid free. Okay, so then here's the die set and the stamp set. So we have we always have two kind of packages of dies. So there they are, and look at how much metal you're getting. Really, really fantastic. And as with all of the memory books, you're gonna get your page base dies and your mats and layer dies. But to be honest, even your mats and layers can be page bases and just offer you even more variety in terms of the size albums that you can create. And what's really fantastic about this is that, let me also maybe quickly show you the stamp set, because I feel like that might be easier to explain. Put it on camera here. So the stamp set has sentiments, lovely sentiments, and different. What's cool is that some of the phrases are the same, but you get them in different fonts. And I always like that, because sometimes, a different font can really give different, almost different feel, to a sentiment. So we have with family, the good times, those special days. With friends is one that's repeated. That night with you, those days. And then we have in the more scripty, with you. And I think some of those are going to be repeats of what's in these serif fonts. You get them in the more scripty font. So that's the stamp set. So then, looking at the dies, it does look like there's two different shaped pages that you can create with. So we have this one, seems to be the largest, so that's probably our cover. And one way to tell is, if you look at this end, there's no cutting line that stretches from here to here. So that's going to leave a portion of card here that you can then trim to fit, in order to have this actually be the spine of your memory book. So there's that as an option. And then you do get this die that lets you, it looks like it puts a score line in here, and then it has these hexagon shaped holes so that you can do like a more binding style of mini album. And I have not made a mini album in that style for quite some time, so I might do that with this one. But that's one way of creating your mini album, so that you don't necessarily have to create a a spine and a hinge system. You can just cut out your pages all the same size, including your cover, and always including this strip here. And then using some ribbon or twine, whatever you'd like, to actually do your binding that way. And that's a good example of how you can do that style of sort of ribbon threading to create your album. And so then it looks like, so if that's our cover, there's one mat here, and then it looks like there's a second mat here. So you can do double mats if you want, or you can use if you like to do like a hidden hinge style of album, you can use these pages to just create a smaller size album if you'd like. And often what I like to do is have my cover be slightly larger than my pages. So I might take this die, the largest die, as my cover, and then take the next smaller one down and use that as my pages. And then I would then have two options, because I could use that as my cover and then have an even smaller page within that. So lots of different options, but the two smaller ones do cut in full. There's a complete outside cutting edge, but this die here does have some deboss detailing. Then when we look at this die, the second largest on this sheet here, this die, similar to the largest one here, does not have a cutting edge along this edge. So again, that's a hint that might be well suited to create your cover. And so then you could, and it does look like there's notches on here. So there's like little triangle bits of metal that kind of stick out from the main die plate. And my guess is that those little arrows are meant to line up so that you can kind of position them with these different page sizes. And so you can it looks like this is you can see that it matches in full that largest one, but then there's one set of tick marks, two sets of tick marks, so you can so there's actually 3 different page shapes, because there's 2 sets of tick marks for smaller pages. So I'm guessing the first set of tick marks, the ones on the 2 outer ends here, they're gonna fit this page shape here, that really lovely curve there. And so with that one, you get it looks like this is probably the next size down, and it's got that lovely like wonky stitch detailing. And then you have a second mat in this die here. So that too has 3 different dies that are the same shape. So you can use those together. And of course you can mix and match all of these, but they've designed them as sets, and so they're really lovely that way. And then I didn't see this on my cursory glance, but this shape here, this one's really lovely, and this is also one where this bottom edge here is not a cut line. And I'm guessing these 2 notched triangles are going to perfectly line up with the ends of that. So that's how you position this die plate if you're wanting to use this as the ribbon threading style of binding your pages together. You would use those little arrows as a guide to line up to the edge of your page here. And look at that lovely deboss detailing there. There's a heart, some some kind of filigree, really, really lovely design there. So again, if that's our cover, which, can also be used for your pages, and any of them can be used for your pages, really. So we have that. This die over here is probably going to be the next largest. And it also has some really lovely deboss detailing, kind of similar to this one here. And then we have this one as your second, either another matte layer or just another die that you can use as a decorative die. So yeah, 3 different page shapes and sizes. But really, there's a lot more than that, because within each shape, there's 3 different dies. And so in total, there's 9 different dies that you can use as page bases. Some of these ones might be a little bit small, but you never know, because brag books are really cute in these like small sizes. So you may want to make a little brag book. You may want to make a little swatch book. You may want to make something that like just a little mini notebook, so that you can just scribble notes in and jot ideas down, and that's kind of pocket size. So you never know. You may want to use make books that are that small, but really, the options are limitless. You can definitely use them as page bases or use them as mats and layers, and you can definitely combine. So you can see, possibly I could see myself maybe using some of these smaller ones as maybe even like little waterfall flaps, and you would just score a line here for that hinge of your waterfall. And I think that would be really fun too. So especially like this one, it conveniently doesn't have a cut line here, so you could just extend that a little bit and have this be a waterfall, which would be wonderful. So really, really great. And then on top of all of that, we do have a number of different dies for things like these are fantastic here. You could use these in card making too. Because these are just really great little banners, little labels, and you can fit small sentiments. And of course, you've got some sentiments here, but I'm sure in my stash anyways, I've got sentiments that are small font like that, and these are all really fun. Like they're different shaped. It's not just a rectangle. So this has a little bit of like a curved point, and this has sort of angled or mitered corners. This one has reverse notches. So those are really cool little label plates. These are hole reinforcers if you want to add that little decorative detail, and also make these a little bit more kind of sturdy if you're doing the ribbon threading. We have dies here for, that looks like a photo corner, where it just cuts out a little slit that you can then just slip your photo like under there. Then there are dies that look like you can create little tabs, I think. So that will cut out everything, and then you can kind of fold that in half to be like a little tab, for a little pull tab if you like to have pockets in your memory book, and then photo mats that you can slide in and out. So you can do that. This is kind of small though. I feel like that's a little bit it's not like quite kind of thumb size for you to grab, but it's available. These ones are really cute. So these might be additional photo tuck spots, I guess. Yeah, that's a good word. So these, I think, are create little slits for you to tuck your photos under. So you could, for example, die cut onto maybe some pattern paper, whatever your topmost layer is going to be. You could cut these little half circles, and what's cool is this one has the heart going in one way, and then this one has the heart on the going in the opposite. So you could have the hearts actually pointing, like the point of the heart pointing towards each other, and put a slit at the bottom, put a slit at the top, and that way it's well secured by both slits. Your photo is well secured by both slits. So those are really cool. That's gonna be super useful. I really like that. And then this might be another kind of pull tabby kind of thing. And then we do get some sentiments. So we have life is better, dot, dot, dot. And this says remember. And this one says, these were, I'm not gonna even try. I think it says hope, but I'm not sure what the second word would be. So you get 3 sentiments that also have their bubble layer, and then we have, oh, this is cool. This is nice. So this does cut out with deboss words that say pull me. So if you do have interactive elements, great for interactive cards as well. But if you have photo mats that you've tucked into pockets and you feel like it may not be entirely obvious that they are there, then you can add this little pull me kind of label onto those. And so that's our die set. So really super fantastic. I really like having all of the different memory book styles, and I know I have quite a few that I haven't even crafted with, but this is definitely one of those things where I feel like I have full set syndrome about. and it's really, really nice to have the kit, because once the kit sells out, you can never buy these again unless somebody's willing to sell theirs. But I think most Tonic subscribers, if they're like me, they're gonna hold on to their their kit. So that is the Tonic Craft Kit number 60, time spent with friends. And so I have a little bit of homework. I'm gonna write in to check whether this is an acid-free, archival safe adhesive, and I could just not be seeing it what with the pressure of recording a video. But when I find that out, I'll just update in the description box below whatever it is that I learn about that. So thank you so much for joining me today. When I craft with this kit, I will be sure to, it will definitely be added to my Tonic Studios playlist, which you'll see at the end of this video, but I will strive to come back to this video and actually link to it directly so that it's the, you'll see that thumbnail at the end of this video as well. Thank you again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.